Hello there, and welcome to Nightfall Science. Tonight, we drift gently away from the busy world and out among the stars themselves, to wonder at how they are born, how they live, and how they gently die. The stars are the great glowing hearts of the universe, the warm and patient fires that light the dark. There are stars being born even now, in vast and glowing clouds of gas and dust. There are stars that have shone steadily for billions of years, calm and constant in the night. And there are stars that end their long lives in slow and quiet beauty, scattering their light gently across the cosmos. We will drift slowly through the whole long life of a star tonight, gently and without hurry, letting the soft glow of the stars carry you towards sleep. For all their fire and power, the stars are patient things, living out their lives across spans of time almost beyond imagining. They are born slowly, they shine steadily for ages, and they fade gently in their own quiet time. And tonight, we will wander gently through that great cycle, from the birth of a star to its peaceful ending, one soft wonder at a time. If you find a little peace in these quiet journeys, you're welcome to follow along, leave a gentle thought below, or share this with someone who needs rest tonight. It helps these calm nights find others, one drifting mind at a time. But for now, there is nothing more to do. Let yourself grow comfortable. Let your shoulders ease away from the day. Let your breathing slow, and let your eyes grow heavy whenever they wish to. The stars have been shining for billions of years, and they will keep shining softly while you fall asleep. Let's begin. Let us start, gently, with what a star truly is. When we look up at the night sky, we see countless points of light, scattered softly across the dark. Each one of them is a star, a great ball of glowing gas, so vast and so hot that it shines with its own light. A star is not solid, like a world. It is a vast sphere of fire and light, held together by its own gravity, burning gently across the ages. They seem small and quiet from far away, mere specks in the night. But each one is an enormous glowing sun, shining softly across the great gulf of space. It is a gentle wonder to remember that our own sun is a star, just like the others. The warm and brilliant sun that lights our days is itself one of these great glowing spheres, no different in nature from the distant points of light we see at night. It only seems so much larger and brighter because it is so very close to us. The other stars are suns as well, each one shining upon its own small corner of the cosmos. When you gaze up at the stars, you are looking out upon countless distant suns, each one as real and as bright, in its own place, as our own. The night sky holds more stars than we could ever hope to count. On a clear, dark night, far from any city, you might see a few thousand stars with your own eyes, but that is only the faintest beginning. Our galaxy alone holds hundreds of billions of stars, far more than anyone could ever count in a lifetime. And beyond our galaxy lie countless others, each with its own vast multitude of stars. The number of stars in the whole universe climbs gently beyond all meaning. It is a soothing thought of a cosmos gently filled with countless glowing suns, scattered softly through the endless dark. Every star, however grand, begins its life in a great cloud of gas and dust, drifting quietly in space. Scattered throughout every galaxy are vast clouds of this gentle material, cold and dark, and almost endlessly patient. They are the nurseries of the stars, the quiet places where new suns are born. Within these great clouds, slowly and gently, the seeds of stars begin to gather. It is a soft and unhurried beginning, this birth of a star from a drifting cloud. From the cold and quiet darkness of these vast clouds, the brilliant stars are gently born, one at a time, across the ages. These great clouds, where stars are born, are among the most beautiful sights in all the cosmos. They are vast and soft, glowing gently in places where nearby stars light them from within, painted in delicate colors across the dark. Within their gentle folds, new stars are quietly taking shape, hidden in the drifting gas and dust. To look upon one of these glowing clouds is to glimpse the very cradle of the stars, a place where suns are gently being born. They drift there softly in the dark, immense and beautiful, the quiet birthplaces of the brilliant stars that light the night. The birth of a star begins when a part of one of these clouds gently begins to collapse. For a long time, a cloud may simply drift, cold and still, going nowhere in particular. But here and there, gravity begins to gather the gas and dust inward, slowly drawing it together. Perhaps a gentle nudge sets it in motion, a soft ripple passing through the cloud. Little by little, a region of the cloud begins to fall in upon itself, gathering ever more material as it goes. From that gentle gathering, deep within the drifting cloud, the first quiet beginnings of a star slowly take shape. As the gathering material falls inward, it slowly grows warm, and a glowing core begins to form. Drawn together by gravity, the gas piles up at the center, growing denser and hotter as it gathers. Before long, a warm, glowing sphere takes shape in the heart of the collapsing cloud. Not yet a true star, but the gentle seed of one. We sometimes call this a young, forming star, still gathering its material, still warming toward the moment it will truly shine. It glows softly there, deep within the cloud, slowly growing warmer, gently taking shape across the ages, on its way to becoming a star. The true moment of a star's birth comes when its core grows hot enough to begin to shine with its own fire. As the forming star gathers more and more material, its center grows hotter and hotter, until at last it reaches an astonishing heat. At that moment, deep in the core, a gentle fire ignites, and the star begins to shine with a light all its own. It has become, at last, a true star, glowing steadily in the dark. It is a quiet and momentous threshold, this first kindling of a star's inner light, the gentle beginning of a life that may last for billions of years. When a new star first begins to shine, its light slowly clears away the gas and dust that cradled it. At first, the newborn star is hidden deep within its cloud, wrapped in the very material from which it formed. But as it shines, its light and warmth gently push that material away, slowly clearing a space around itself. In time, the young star emerges, shining out into the dark for the first time, freed from the cloud of its birth. It is a gentle unveiling, the first clear light of a new star, breaking softly out of its cradle to join the other stars in the sky. Stars are rarely born alone, but usually in great gatherings, as whole families of suns. When a vast cloud collapses, it does not form just one star, but many, born together from the same great cloud. These young stars begin their lives clustered closely, a gentle gathering of new suns, all born at nearly the same time. We call such a gathering a star cluster, a quiet family of stars drifting together through space. Over the ages, the stars of a cluster slowly drift apart, scattering gently into the galaxy. But for a time, they shine together, a soft and brilliant gathering of newborn suns. When we look upon the stars, we find that they come in a wonderful variety of sizes and kinds. Some stars are enormous, vast and brilliant, far larger than our own sun. Others are small and dim, glowing only faintly in the dark. There are stars of every size in between, scattered through the galaxy in endless variety. No two are exactly alike, each with its own size, its own brightness, its own gentle character. From the smallest, faintest stars to the greatest, most brilliant ones, the cosmos holds suns of every kind, gently shining across the dark. The stars also shine in a soft array of colors, each one telling us something of its nature. Some stars glow a gentle red, others a warm orange or yellow, like our own sun, and others shine a brilliant white or blue. These colors are not mere decoration, but gentle signs of how hot each star burns. The cooler stars glow softly red, while the hottest stars shine a brilliant blue-white. When you look closely at the night sky, you may notice these gentle hues among the stars, a soft palette of color scattered across the dark, each shade a quiet sign of a star's gentle warmth. The very largest stars are almost beyond imagining in their size. There are stars so enormous that, were one placed where our sun is, it would swallow the inner planets entirely, stretching out beyond their orbits. These great supergiant stars are hundreds of times wider than our own sun, vast and brilliant, glowing across great distances. And yet, for all their size, they shine quietly in the dark, turning gently like all the other stars. It is a humbling thought to consider such enormous suns, so vast that our own sun would seem a tiny speck beside them, glowing softly far across the cosmos. At the other end rest the smallest stars, gentle and dim, glowing faintly in the dark. These little stars, far smaller than our sun, shine with only a soft, quiet light, burning their fuel slowly and gently. They are by far the most common stars in the galaxy, scattered everywhere among the brighter suns, though they are too faint to easily see. They glow softly a gentle red, calm and patient, burning quietly across vast stretches of time. There is something soothing in these small, quiet stars, the most numerous of all, shining gently and modestly throughout the cosmos. It is worth pausing gently on how a star shines at all. Deep in the heart of a star, under unimaginable pressure and heat, the smallest pieces of matter are gently pressed together, merging into slightly heavier ones. Each time this happens, a tiny whisper of energy is released. It happens countless times every moment, all through the star's vast core, and together those whispers become the light and warmth the star pours out into space. A star is not burning as a fire burns. It shines by something far deeper and gentler, the quiet joining of the smallest things, deep within its glowing heart. A star holds itself steady through a gentle and lasting balance, deep within. The star's own gravity is forever trying to pull it inward, to gather it together and crush it down. But the warmth and pressure of the fire in its core push gently outward, holding the star up against that pull. These two forces, the inward pull of gravity and the outward push of light and heat, rest in a quiet balance, holding the star steady across the ages. It is this gentle balance that lets a star shine calmly for so long, neither collapsing nor flying apart, but resting softly in equilibrium, glowing patiently in the dark. How long a star lives depends, gently, on how large it is. It might seem that the greatest stars, with the most fuel to burn, would live the longest, but it is the opposite. The largest stars burn their fuel furiously, shining with tremendous brilliance, and so they use it up quickly, living only briefly. The smallest stars, by contrast, burn their fuel slowly and gently, and so they live for an astonishingly long time. A great star might shine for only a few million years, while a small star may glow softly for trillions. The gentlest stars, it seems, live the longest of all. For most of its long life, a star shines steadily and calmly, in a gentle and lasting middle age. After its birth, a star settles into a long, stable phase, quietly fusing its fuel in its core, shining with a steady light. This is the calm heart of a star's life, lasting for the great majority of its years, sometimes for billions of them. During this long, peaceful stretch, the star changes very little, simply glowing softly and faithfully across the ages. Our own sun is in just such a phase now, resting in its quiet middle age, shining steadily as it has for billions of years. And so we have followed the gentle birth of a star, from a drifting cloud to a glowing, steady sun. We have seen stars gather from the dark, kindle their inner fire, and settle into their long, calm lives. And there is still so much more to wonder at, the long lives of the stars and their gentle endings, still waiting gently ahead. But for now, let the stars turn softly in your mind, glowing quietly across the dark in their countless billions, as we rest a little while longer in the soft and gentle quiet of the cosmos. Let us drift now to the gentle life story of our own star, the Sun. Our Sun was born about 4.5 billion years ago, gathered from a great cloud of gas and dust, just as all stars are. For all that time, it has shone steadily and faithfully, pouring its warmth and light out into space, day after day, age after age. It is now in the calm middle of its life, a gentle, ordinary star, neither young nor old, and it has billions of years of steady shining still ahead, far more than we could ever imagine. Our Sun is a quiet, patient star, glowing softly at the center of all we know. The steady light of our Sun is a gentle gift that has lasted across the ages. For billions of years, it has shone with a remarkable constancy, warming our world and lighting our days with a calm and faithful glow. That steady warmth is what has allowed life to flourish upon the earth, a gentle and unbroken gift across unimaginable spans of time. The same light that warms your skin on a summer afternoon has been pouring out of the sun since long before the first living thing drew breath. It is a soothing thought, this quiet constancy of our star, shining gently and faithfully through all the ages. Among all the stars, the small red ones live the longest of all, by far. These little stars, far cooler and dimmer than our sun, burn their fuel so slowly and so gently that they can shine for an astonishing length of time. While a star like our sun might live for some 10 billion years, these small red stars may glow softly for trillions of years, far longer than the universe has yet existed. They are the great enduring stars, the most patient of all, shining quietly across spans of time almost beyond meaning. Long after other stars have faded, these gentle red stars will still be glowing softly in the dark. The reason these small stars live so long is the gentle, careful way they burn. Because they are small and cool, they use their fuel very slowly, sipping at it gently rather than burning it quickly. And they mix their material so thoroughly that they can use nearly all of it, leaving little to waste. And so they shine on, calm and frugal, stretching their fuel across enormous stretches of time. It is a soothing thought of these gentle stars burning so slowly and so wisely that they may outlast nearly everything else in the cosmos, glowing softly and patiently long into the deep future. Stars like our own sun glow with a gentle yellow light, resting comfortably in the middle of the great range of stars. They are neither the hottest nor the coolest, neither the largest nor the smallest, but gentle, balanced stars, shining steadily across long ages. Their warm yellow light is soft and familiar, the very light we know best of all. They live for many billions of years, long enough for worlds to form around them, and for life, perhaps, to slowly arise. They are calm and faithful stars, glowing gently in the dark, the kind of star we call home. Slightly cooler than our sun are the gentle orange stars, which may be among the most hospitable of all. These stars glow with a soft, warm orange light, a little dimmer and cooler than our own sun. They burn their fuel slowly and steadily, living even longer than stars like ours, with a calm and lasting constancy. Some have wondered whether these gentle orange stars might be especially kind to life, offering steady warmth across vast stretches of time. They are soothing stars to imagine, glowing softly orange, calm and patient and long-lived, shining gently upon whatever worlds may circle them. At the other extreme are the great massive stars, whose lives are brief and brilliant. These enormous stars, far larger and hotter than our sun, shine with tremendous brilliance, blazing across great distances, but they burn their fuel furiously, using it up at an astonishing rate, and so their lives are remarkably short. Where a gentle star might live for billions of years, these great stars may shine for only a few million before their fuel runs low. They live fast and brightly, blazing gloriously for a brief time, then ending their lives, while gentler stars are only just beginning theirs. The most massive stars glow with a brilliant blue-white light, the hottest and most luminous of all. These great blue stars burn at tremendous temperatures, shining far more brightly than our own gentle sun. They are rare, for few stars grow so large, and they do not last long, burning through their fuel in a brief and brilliant blaze. Yet while they shine, they are dazzling, lighting up the clouds around them and outshining all their neighbors. They are the brilliant, fleeting giants of the cosmos, blazing blue-white for a short and glorious time before passing gently from the sky. It is worth pausing on the gentle truth that a star's brightness in our sky does not always reveal its true nature. Some stars look bright to us simply because they are near, while others look faint only because they are far away. A small, gentle star close by might shine more brightly in our sky than a great, brilliant star far across the galaxy. And so the brightest points in our night sky are not always the greatest stars, but sometimes simply the nearest. It is a gentle reminder that distance shapes all we see, softening the brilliant and brightening the near across the vast gulfs of space. From the gentle light of a star, we can learn a remarkable amount about its nature. The color of a star reveals how hot it burns, and the details hidden within its light tell us what it is made of, how it moves, and how old it might be. By carefully studying the light that crosses the vast dark to reach us, we can come to know a star intimately, even from across the galaxy. It is a gentle and beautiful art, reading the life of a star in the soft light it sends across space. From that faint glow alone, we learn the warmth, the makeup, and the quiet story of each distant sun. Many stars, it turns out, do not live alone, but in gentle company with one or more companions. Where our own sun shines by itself, a great many stars are bound together in pairs, or in small families of several stars, circling one another through the ages. These companion stars drift together through space, held by their mutual gravity, dancing slowly around their shared center. On a world circling such a pair, there might be more than one sun in the sky. It is a lovely thought that so many stars travel through the cosmos, not alone, but gently accompanied, in quiet pairs and families. In these pairs, the stars circle one another in a slow and graceful dance, bound together by gravity. Two companion stars swing gently around their shared center, tracing their orbits across the ages. Sometimes they drift far apart, and sometimes they circle closely, depending on the gentle bonds between them. They may shine together for billions of years, two suns turning softly around one another in the dark. It is a beautiful thing to imagine, this quiet dance of paired stars, circling gently through space, faithful companions across the long ages, glowing softly side by side in the night. Some stars do not shine with a perfectly steady light, but gently brighten and dim over time. These are the variable stars, whose glow rises and falls in slow, repeating rhythms, like a gentle cosmic breathing. Some of them swell and shrink, growing brighter as they expand and dimmer as they contract, pulsing softly across days or weeks. Others change as a companion passes before them, gently blocking their light. They are gentle, rhythmic stars, their brightness rising and falling in quiet patterns, like slow heartbeats scattered across the night sky, softly pulsing in the dark. The gentle pulsing of certain variable stars has given us a beautiful gift, a way to measure the distances across space. Some of these pulsing stars beat in a steady rhythm, and that rhythm is gently tied to how brightly they truly shine. By watching how quickly such a star pulses, we can learn its true brightness, and so judge how far away it must be. These rhythmic stars have become gentle measuring marks, scattered across the cosmos, helping us gauge the vast distances to faraway galaxies. It is a lovely thought that the soft, steady pulsing of distant stars has helped us measure the very scale of the universe. Stars often gather in clusters, and these come in two gentle kinds. Some are loose, young gatherings, where stars born together drift in a soft, open group, slowly scattering into the galaxy over time. Others are vast, ancient gatherings, where many thousands of old stars are bound tightly together in a great glowing ball. These two kinds of clusters, the young and loose, and the old and dense, are scattered through the galaxy, each a gentle family of stars. They are beautiful to behold. These clusters of suns, gathered softly together, shining as one across the dark. The great ancient clusters are among the oldest and most beautiful gatherings of stars in all the galaxy. Within them, hundreds of thousands of stars are bound closely together, drifting in a vast glowing sphere, circling one another across the ages. These stars are very old, among the most ancient in the galaxy, born long ago in the deep past. On a world within such a cluster, the night sky would blaze with countless nearby stars, far brighter than our own. They are gentle, glittering gatherings, these ancient clusters, soft glowing spheres of old stars, drifting quietly through the dark for billions of years. The stars of the galaxy span a great range of ages, from the newly born to the very ancient. Some stars are young, only just kindled into light, still wrapped in the clouds of their birth. Others are gentle and middle-aged, like our own sun, shining steadily through their long lives. And others are ancient, among the oldest stars in the galaxy, having shone for nearly the whole age of the cosmos. They drift together through space, young and old alike, a gentle gathering of stars of every age. It is a soothing thought, this great mingling of stellar lives, the young and the ancient shining softly side by side. When we look across the galaxy, we behold stars in every stage of their long lives, all at once. Somewhere, new stars are being born in glowing clouds. Elsewhere, gentle stars shine steadily in their long middle age. And elsewhere still, old stars drift toward the ends of their lives. The whole great cycle of stellar life unfolds across the galaxy at every moment, in countless places at once. To gaze upon the stars is to see this entire gentle story spread out before us, from birth to old age, all glowing softly together in the dark, across the vast sweep of the cosmos. It is a gentle wonder to consider how the stars, despite their fiery power, live such patient and orderly lives. They are born slowly, from drifting clouds. They shine steadily, for ages, held in gentle balance, and they age and change in their own quiet time, each according to its nature. There is a deep order to it all, a soft and lawful rhythm to the lives of the stars, unfolding gently across the cosmos. It is soothing to rest upon, this quiet orderliness of the stars, each one living out its long life calmly and faithfully, glowing softly across the great ages of the universe. And so we have wandered through the long lives of the stars, from our own gentle sun, to the brilliant giants and the patient little red stars. We have seen stars in pairs and clusters, and stars that pulse softly in the dark, and stars of every age glowing together. And there is still more to wonder at, the gentle endings of the stars, still waiting softly ahead. But for now, let the stars turn quietly in your mind, glowing across the dark in all their gentle variety, as you settle a little deeper into stillness and warmth and rest. Let us drift now, gently, toward the slow and peaceful ending of a star like our own sun. For billions of years, such a star shines steadily, fusing the fuel in its core, held in gentle balance. But no star can shine forever. In time, deep in its heart, the star slowly begins to run low on the fuel it has burned for so long. This is the gentle beginning of the end, the first quiet sign that the star's long, steady life is slowly drawing toward its close. It comes not suddenly, but gradually, across vast stretches of time, as the star's inner fire begins, ever so slowly, to change. When the fuel in a star's core begins to run out, the gentle balance that held it steady slowly shifts. With less fire burning in its heart, the core can no longer push back so firmly against the pull of gravity, and it begins to contract, growing hotter as it does. This rising heat stirs the regions around the core, and the star, in response, begins to swell. Slowly, gently, the star starts to grow larger, its outer layers expanding outward. It is a quiet turning point, this gentle shift in the star's ancient balance, the beginning of a great and beautiful change. As the star swells, its outer layers expand to an enormous size, and it becomes a red giant, growing far larger than before. The star puffs outward, its surface cooling and reddening as it spreads across a great distance. A star like our sun might swell until it is many times its former size, vast and glowing softly red. It becomes one of the great giant stars, immense and gentle, glowing with a soft, warm light. It is a beautiful transformation, this swelling of a star into a red giant, a gentle blossoming in the long twilight of its life. When our own sun one day becomes such a red giant, it will grow so large that it may reach out toward the inner planets. As it swells, its glowing surface will expand outward, perhaps engulfing the nearest worlds entirely, drawing them gently into its warmth. The innermost planets may be swallowed by the growing star, vanishing softly into its glow. It is a distant and gentle fate, unfolding billions of years from now, far beyond any time we will ever know. But it is part of the long, slow story of our star, this gentle reaching outward in its old age. The Earth's own distant fate, in that far-off time, is a gentle and uncertain thing. As the sun swells into a red giant, our world may be drawn into its warmth, or its orbit may shift gently outward, sparing it for a time. Long before then, the slowly brightening sun will have warmed the Earth beyond what life could bear, and our oceans will have gently faded into the sky. It is a distant ending, unimaginably far ahead, and so soft and so far away that it carries no weight of sorrow, only a quiet sense of how vast the ages truly are. For all its great size, the red giant glows with a gentle, cooler light than before. Though the star has swelled enormously, its surface has spread so wide and cooled so much that it shines a soft, warm red, rather than the brilliant white or yellow of its youth. It is a calmer, gentler glow, the soft light of a star in its old age. The red giant is a peaceful sight, vast and luminous yet gentle, glowing softly red as it drifts through the long twilight of its life. There is a quiet beauty in that soft red light, the gentle radiance of a star growing old. Within the heart of the red giant, a new kind of fire eventually awakens. As the core contracts and grows hotter, it reaches a temperature great enough to begin fusing a new and heavier fuel, one it could not burn before. With this new fire kindled in its heart, the star burns on a while longer, in a new and gentler phase of its life. It is a quiet renewal, this awakening of a new fire deep within the aging star, allowing it to shine on a little longer, glowing softly as it slowly continues toward its end. In this late stage of its life, the star gently forges new elements deep within its core. The new fire burning in its heart slowly creates heavier kinds of matter, building richer elements from the simpler ones it began with. Carbon and oxygen, the very stuff of life and worlds, are gently forged in the hearts of these aging stars. It is a quiet act of creation, unfolding deep within the dying star, the slow making of the elements from which new things will one day be built. The stars, in their old age, gently become the forges of the cosmos. As the star nears the end of its life, its outer layers grow restless, gently pulsing and swelling. No longer perfectly steady, the aging star begins to throb softly, expanding and contracting in slow, gentle waves. With each pulse, it loosens its grip a little more on its outer layers, gently casting some of its material outward into space. It is a soft and gradual letting go, this gentle pulsing of the dying star, slowly releasing its outer layers into the dark, like a long, slow exhale at the end of a long and gentle life. In time, the star gently sheds its outer layers entirely, releasing them softly into space. The aging star, no longer able to hold itself together as before, lets go of its outer envelope, casting it gently outward in a slow and graceful release. The discarded layers drift away from the star, expanding gently into the surrounding dark. It is a peaceful parting, this gentle shedding of the star's outer self, not a violent ending, but a soft and graceful release, as the star quietly gives its outer layers back to the cosmos from which it came. The layers a dying star casts off form one of the most beautiful sights in all the cosmos, a glowing shell of gas. As the star releases its outer material, that gas spreads gently outward, and the hot, exposed heart of the star lights it from within, setting it softly aglow. The result is a delicate, glowing cloud, shining in soft and lovely colors, surrounding the dying star. These glowing shells are among the gentlest and most beautiful objects in the universe, the soft and radiant remnants of stars in their final transformation, glowing quietly in the dark. These glowing shells take on a wonderful variety of gentle shapes. Some form delicate rings, glowing softly like smoke rings drifting in space. Others spread into the shapes of butterflies, or hourglasses, or soft glowing eyes, each one different, each one lovely. They are shaped gently by the dying star and its surroundings, into forms of delicate and surprising beauty. To behold one of these glowing shells is to witness the gentle artistry of a dying star, a soft and radiant farewell, painted delicately across the dark in the final chapter of a star's long life. For all their beauty, these glowing shells are fleeting things in the slow time of the cosmos. They drift and expand gently for only a brief while, by the measure of the stars, glowing softly for a few tens of thousands of years before fading gently away. In the vast spans of stellar time, they are but a passing moment, a brief and beautiful flourish at the end of a star's life. There is a gentle poignancy in that, in the soft, fleeting beauty of these glowing shells, blooming briefly in the dark, before drifting quietly away into the cosmos. When the glowing shell has drifted away, what remains at the center is the gentle, exposed heart of the star. The dying star has cast off its outer layers, leaving behind only its small, dense, glowing core, the very heart of what it once was. This remaining core is a new kind of object, no longer a shining star as before, but its quiet, glowing remnant. We call it a white dwarf, the gentle ember of a star that has reached the end of its long life. It rests there at the center, small and warm, the peaceful remains of a star's long and gentle existence. A white dwarf is a remarkable object, holding the weight of a star within a tiny space. Though it carries a mass close to that of our own sun, it is squeezed into a sphere only about the size of the Earth, small and dense beyond easy imagining. It no longer burns any fuel, but simply glows softly with the leftover heat of the star it once was, slowly fading across the ages. It is the quiet, glowing remnant of a star, a gentle ember resting in the dark, holding the weight of a sun within a world-sized sphere, shining faintly with its fading warmth. So dense is a white dwarf that its matter is packed together almost beyond comprehension. A single small spoonful of its material would weigh as much as a great many tons, far more than anything of its size on Earth. All the weight of a star, gathered into so small a space, presses its matter together into something extraordinarily dense. It is among the densest things in the universe, second only to the strange remnants of the greatest stars. And yet it rests there quietly, glowing softly, a gentle and unimaginably dense ember, the peaceful remains of a star. A white dwarf does not shine forever, but slowly cools and fades across the vast ages. Having no fire left to burn, it simply glows with its leftover warmth, gradually radiating that heat away into space. Over billions upon billions of years, it grows slowly dimmer and cooler, fading ever so gently toward darkness. It is an unimaginably slow fading, stretching across spans of time, almost beyond meaning. The white dwarf cools patiently in the dark, its gentle glow softening over the ages, the long, quiet twilight of a star that has lived its life. In the deepest future, after almost endless ages, a white dwarf may at last fade entirely into a cold, dark ember. Cooling ever so slowly across spans of time beyond all imagining, it would eventually shine no more, becoming a quiet, dark remnant drifting in the cosmos. So vast is the time required that no such fully faded ember exists yet anywhere in the universe, for the cosmos is not nearly old enough. It is a gentle thought to rest upon, of these stellar embers cooling so patiently that their final fading lies almost infinitely far ahead in the deep future of the cosmos. This entire ending, for a star like our Sun, is a gentle and peaceful one. There is no great explosion, no violent end, only a slow swelling, a soft shedding of layers, and a quiet fading into a gentle ember. It is among the calmest of all the ways a star can die, a soft and graceful passing, unfolding slowly across vast ages. There is a deep peace in it, this gentle death of a sun-like star, ending not in fury, but in beauty and stillness, a quiet ember, glowing softly in the dark at the close of a long and gentle life. And this gentle ending is the very fate that awaits our own sun in the distant future. Billions of years from now, our sun will slowly swell into a red giant, gently shed its outer layers into a glowing shell, and settle at last into a quiet white dwarf, cooling softly across the ages. It is a distant and peaceful destiny, unimaginably far ahead, far beyond any time we will ever know, and there is a gentle comfort in it, in knowing that our star will end its long life, not in violence, but in a slow and beautiful fading, glowing softly to the very end. And so we have followed the gentle death of a star like our own, from its swelling into a red giant to its quiet fading as a white dwarf. We have seen the soft shedding of its layers, and the glowing shells it leaves behind, and the gentle ember that remains. And there is still more to wonder at, the far grander endings of the greatest stars, still waiting softly ahead. But for now, let these gentle stellar deaths turn quietly in your mind, soft and peaceful and beautiful, as you sink a little deeper into stillness and warmth and rest. Let us drift now toward the grander and more brilliant ending of the great massive stars. While a gentle star like our sun fades softly into a quiet ember, the largest stars meet a far more dramatic and dazzling end. These great stars, many times heavier than our Sun, live brief and brilliant lives, and they die in a way that lights up the cosmos. Their endings are among the most powerful and beautiful events in all the universe. We will drift gently toward that ending now, and watch, in our minds, how a great star gives its final, magnificent gift of light to the dark. The great massive stars follow a different path through their lives, burning ever hotter and faster. Where a gentle star burns its fuel slowly, a massive star blazes through it furiously, shining with tremendous brilliance. And as each kind of fuel runs low, the star's core grows hotter still and begins to burn a new and heavier fuel in its place. Again and again, the star moves on to heavier fuels, burning each more quickly than the last. It is a swift and fiery life, this race through fuel after fuel, the great star blazing ever brighter as it nears its end. As a massive star burns through its successive fuels, it builds up layers within, like the gentle rings of an onion. Each kind of fuel burns in its own shell, with the heaviest burning deepest, nearest the core, and lighter fuels burning in the layers above. The star comes to hold a series of nested shells, each one fusing a different kind of matter, all wrapped around a growing center. It is a beautiful and orderly structure, this layered heart of a dying massive star, with shell upon shell of burning fuel, glowing softly around the core, in the final chapters of the star's brief life. Deep within these layers, the massive star gently forges the elements, building heavier and heavier kinds of matter. As it burns through fuel after fuel, it creates new elements in its core, slowly building up the richer materials of the cosmos. Carbon and oxygen, and many heavier elements still, are gently forged within the great star's heart, in the fiery final stages of its life. The massive stars are the great forges of the universe, quietly creating the elements from which worlds, and eventually life, will one day be built. They craft the very stuff of the cosmos in their burning hearts. In time, the massive star builds its way up to iron, deep in its core, and here a gentle turning point is reached. Iron is a special kind of matter, for unlike the lighter fuels, fusing iron does not release energy, but instead quietly takes it away. And so, when the star's core fills with iron, the fire that has sustained it can burn no longer. The core can no longer push back against the pull of gravity. It is the quiet end of the star's long burning, the moment when its inner fire, at last, can do no more, and the great balance that held it begins to fail. When the star's core can no longer hold itself up, it collapses, swiftly and suddenly. Without the fire to sustain it, gravity wins at last, and the iron core falls inward upon itself in a tiny fraction of a moment, crushing down to an astonishing density. It happens with breathtaking speed, far faster than anything we know, the heart of the great star imploding in an instant. It is the sudden, quiet climax of the star's long life, the moment when its core gives way at last and falls inward in the blink of an eye, setting in motion the great event to come. As the core collapses and the outer layers fall inward, they rebound, and the star is blown gently apart in a brilliant burst. The infalling material strikes the dense, crushed core and rebounds outward, and a great wave of energy sweeps through the star, casting its outer layers off into space. In a single brilliant moment, the great star tears itself apart, releasing an almost unimaginable burst of light and energy. We call this a supernova, the dazzling, beautiful death of a massive star, lighting up the dark in a sudden and magnificent flash. A supernova is among the most brilliant events in all the cosmos, so bright it can briefly outshine a whole galaxy. For a short time, the dying star blazes with the light of billions of ordinary suns, shining more brightly than all the stars of its galaxy combined. It is a dazzling, momentary brilliance, a single star flaring up to rival an entire galaxy of stars. And then, slowly, the brilliance fades, dimming gently over the following weeks and months. It is a breathtaking thought that a single dying star can shine, for a brief while, as brightly as 100 billion suns, glowing softly across the universe. The light of a supernova travels across the cosmos and can be seen from astonishing distances. Such is the brilliance of these dying stars that their light can reach us from across the vast gulfs of space, even from other galaxies, far beyond our own. When a great star dies in some distant galaxy, its final flash of light may journey for millions of years before arriving gently at our eyes. To witness a supernova is to see the death of a star that may have happened long ago and far away, its farewell light only now reaching us after its long journey through the dark. In the brilliant fire of a supernova, the heaviest elements of all are gently forged. The tremendous energies of the explosion create elements far heavier than the star could make in its life, building the richest and rarest kinds of matter in the cosmos. Many of the heavy elements scattered through the universe, the very ones that make our world so rich and varied, are born in these stellar deaths. It is a gentle act of creation hidden within the explosion, the forging of precious elements in the dying star's final brilliant moment, gifts crafted in fire and scattered into the dark. And in that same brilliant moment, the star scatters all its elements gently out into space. All the matter the great star forged across its life, and in its final explosion, is cast outward into the cosmos, spreading gently through the dark. The elements that were locked within the star are released, drifting out to enrich the surrounding space. It is the star's final, generous gift, this scattering of its riches into the cosmos, sowing the dark with the elements from which new stars, new worlds, and perhaps new life will one day be gently born. After the brilliant flash has faded, the scattered material drifts gently outward, forming a vast and glowing cloud. The remains of the exploded star spread softly through space, expanding gently across the ages, glowing in soft and lovely colors. We call this a supernova remnant, the beautiful expanding cloud left behind by a great star's death. It drifts there quietly for thousands of years, a gentle and luminous memorial to the star that once was, spreading its glowing material slowly through the dark, in soft and intricate patterns. These glowing remnants are among the most beautiful sights in all the cosmos. They spread across space in delicate, intricate shapes, glowing in soft tendrils and gentle wisps of color, lit from within and around. Each one is unique, a soft and luminous cloud, drifting gently through the dark, the lovely remains of a star's brilliant ending. To behold a supernova remnant is to witness the gentle afterglow of a great star's death, a soft and radiant cloud spreading quietly across the cosmos, beautiful even in the aftermath of so powerful an event. Such brilliant stellar deaths are gentle and rare, occurring only now and then in a given galaxy. Within a great galaxy of billions of stars, a supernova may flare only once in a great while, perhaps once in a century or so. They are not common events, but rare and precious ones, each a singular moment in the long life of a galaxy. And so, across the vast cosmos, with its countless galaxies, supernovae are flaring softly here and there at every moment, each one a distant star ending its life in brilliant light, scattered gently across the universe. Long ago, people on Earth witnessed some of these brilliant stellar deaths in their own skies. When a great star died not too far away, its sudden brilliance appeared as a dazzling new light in the heavens, bright enough to be seen even in the day, before slowly fading away. Those who saw them recorded these gentle wonders, the sudden appearance and slow fading of a brilliant new star. It is a lovely thought that across the ages, people have gazed up and witnessed the deaths of distant stars, their brief and brilliant farewells lighting the night sky for all to see. Were a star to die in this way near us today, it would be a breathtaking sight in our own sky. For a time, a brilliant new light would appear among the familiar stars, shining far more brightly than any other, perhaps bright enough to be seen even in daylight. Slowly, over weeks and months, it would gently fade, returning the sky to its familiar pattern. It would be one of the most beautiful sights anyone could ever witness, the brilliant death of a star, glowing softly in our sky, a rare and gentle wonder, lighting the night for all the world to see. The death of a great star, for all its power, gently gives life to new stars in turn. The wave of energy from a supernova sweeps outward through space, and when it reaches a nearby cloud of gas and dust, it can gently squeeze that cloud, nudging it to begin collapsing into new stars. And so the death of one star helps to spark the birth of others, gently stirring the clouds where new suns will form. It is a beautiful cycle, this passing of life from old stars to new. The death of one great star gently sowing the seeds of others across the ages. There is a deep and gentle beauty in this, that even the death of a star is an act of creation. The great star, in its brilliant ending, forges the elements, scatters them into the cosmos, and stirs the birth of new stars. Its death is not merely an ending, but a gift, sowing the dark with the materials and the spark for new worlds and new suns. There is something profoundly soothing in that, in knowing that the deaths of the stars are woven so gently into the birth of new life, that endings and beginnings are bound softly together across the cosmos. When we consider the brilliant deaths of the massive stars, we are witnessing the cosmos gently renewing itself. The great stars live brief, bright lives, and in their dazzling endings, they enrich the universe with the elements of new worlds and spark the birth of new stars. It is a grand and gentle cycle, unfolding across the ages, the cosmos forever remaking itself through the deaths and births of stars. There is a deep peace in that great cycle, in the gentle turning of stellar life and death, renewing the universe softly and endlessly, across spans of time almost beyond imagining. And so we have witnessed the brilliant death of a great massive star, its final collapse and its dazzling supernova. We have seen the elements forged and scattered, and the glowing remnants left behind, and the new stars gently sparked by its passing. And there is still more to wonder at, the strange and beautiful remnants of these great stars, still waiting softly ahead. But for now, let the brilliant deaths of the stars turn quietly in your mind, beautiful and gentle even in their power, as you sink a little deeper into stillness and warmth and rest. Let us drift now toward the strange and wonderful objects that the great stars leave behind. When a massive star dies in its brilliant supernova, it does not always vanish entirely. Often, at the very center, where the core collapsed, something remains, a small, dense remnant, all that is left of the great star's heart. These remnants are among the strangest objects in all the universe, denser and more extreme than almost anything else we know. We will drift gently toward them now, and wonder at these quiet, dense hearts of stars, resting in the dark where great suns once blazed. The most common of these remnants is a neutron star, the crushed and gentle heart of a massive star. When the great star's core collapsed, it was squeezed so tightly that its very matter was transformed, pressed together far beyond anything we know on Earth. What remains is a neutron star, a small, impossibly dense sphere, holding the crushed heart of the star within. It rests quietly where the great star's core once was, a strange and gentle remnant, the dense and silent legacy of a star that lived and died long ago, glowing faintly in the dark. A neutron star is so dense that its matter is packed together almost beyond all comprehension. A single small spoonful of a neutron star would weigh as much as an entire mountain, so tightly is its matter crushed together. All the weight of more than a whole sun is squeezed into something extraordinarily dense, far denser even than a white dwarf. It is among the densest things that can exist anywhere in the universe, second only to the black holes. And yet it rests there quietly, a small, dense sphere, holding within it a density almost impossible for the mind to truly grasp. For all the weight it holds, a neutron star is astonishingly small, no larger than a city. Though it carries the mass of more than a whole sun, it is squeezed into a sphere only about a dozen miles across, small enough to rest within the bounds of a single town. Imagine the weight of a star, gathered into something so small you could cross it in minutes, if only you could stand there. It is a remarkable thought, this tiny sphere holding the crushed heart of a star, so small and yet so unimaginably heavy, resting quietly in the dark where a great sun once shone. Many of these neutron stars spin, often with astonishing speed, turning swiftly in the dark. Just as a spinning dancer turns faster when drawing in their arms, the collapsing core of a star spins faster and faster as it is crushed down into a neutron star. And so the remnant is often left spinning very rapidly, turning many times over in a single second, swifter than anything we know. It is a strange and wonderful thought, this small, dense sphere spinning so swiftly in the dark, the crushed heart of a star, whirling quietly and quickly where the great sun once blazed. Some of these spinning neutron stars sweep beams of light across the cosmos, like great lighthouses in the dark. From their poles, they cast out narrow beams of energy, and as the star spins, those beams sweep around through space. If one of those beams happens to sweep across the Earth, we see a steady rhythmic pulse, flashing again and again as the star turns. These are the pulsars, spinning neutron stars whose beams brush gently past us, ticking with remarkable regularity. They are like quiet lighthouses scattered across the galaxy, their gentle beams sweeping softly through the dark, flashing steadily as they turn. The pulses of these spinning stars are among the most steady and precise rhythms in all of nature. So regular is their turning that their pulses arrive with extraordinary precision, ticking as faithfully as the finest clock. Some of them flash only once every few seconds, while others pulse hundreds of times each second, whirling at astonishing speed. They keep their rhythm so faithfully that we can rely upon them almost like cosmic timekeepers, scattered across the galaxy. It is a soothing thought, these gentle, steady pulses arriving from distant spinning stars, ticking softly and faithfully across the vast dark. When these steady pulses were first discovered, they were a gentle mystery. Long ago, astronomers noticed a strange, regular pulse coming from a point in the sky, ticking so faithfully that at first no one knew what could produce it. The steady rhythm was so precise that it seemed almost too orderly to be natural. In time, it was understood to be a spinning neutron star, sweeping its beam past the Earth, ticking as it turned. It was a wonderful discovery, this finding of the spinning remnants of stars, gently revealed by the steady, faithful pulses they sent across the dark. Some neutron stars carry magnetic fields so powerful they are almost beyond imagining. These rare remnants, sometimes called magnetars, hold the strongest magnetism known anywhere in the universe. Fields so intense they would be dangerous even from a great distance. Such a magnetic field could reshape the very atoms of anything that drew too near. And yet these stars rest quietly for the most part, turning gently, their immense fields invisible and silent. They are among the most extreme objects ever found, these magnetic remnants of stars, gentle in their stillness, yet astonishing in their hidden power, drifting quietly in the dark. For the very greatest stars of all, even a neutron star cannot form, and something stranger remains. When a star is so massive that its collapsing core is too heavy even to settle into a neutron star, nothing can halt the collapse, and the core falls inward without end. What remains is a black hole, a place where gravity has grown so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. The most massive stars, in their deaths, leave behind these dark remnants, the strangest objects of all. Where the greatest stars once blazed, there now rest silent black holes, turning quietly in the dark. There is a gentle threshold that decides which remnant a dying star will leave. If the crushed core is below a certain weight, it can settle into a neutron star, holding itself together by the sheer crowding of its matter. But if it is heavier than that gentle limit, nothing can stop the collapse, and it falls onward into a black hole. The line between the two is narrow and precise, a matter of just a few suns worth of mass. On one side rests the dense neutron star, on the other, the dark and silent black hole, the deepest remnant of all. These remnants, the neutron stars and the black holes, are the densest objects in all the universe. They represent the most extreme states that matter can reach, crushed together by gravity beyond anything else we know. In them, the heart of a star is pressed into the smallest of spaces, holding the weight of suns in a tiny sphere or in a point of perfect darkness. They are the dense, quiet endpoints of the greatest stars, resting in the dark where brilliant suns once blazed. There is something profound in them, these crushed and silent hearts of stars, holding the deepest extremes the cosmos allows. Like living stars, these remnants sometimes drift in pairs, two dense hearts circling one another in the dark. Where two massive stars lived and died together, they may leave behind two remnants, two neutron stars, or a neutron star and a black hole, bound by gravity and circling slowly. They drift together through space, these dense and silent objects, dancing gently around one another across the ages. It is a strange and beautiful thought, two crushed hearts of stars, circling quietly in the dark, the dense remnants of a pair of suns that lived and died long ago, turning softly together. When two such dense remnants finally draw together and collide, something wonderful unfolds. After a long, slow spiral, two neutron stars may at last meet and merge in a brilliant and powerful event. In that moment, the heaviest and most precious elements of all are gently forged, the gold and the rarest metals scattered through the cosmos. The collision sends these riches drifting out into space, to one day become part of new worlds. It is a beautiful thought that the gold and precious things of the universe are born in the gentle collisions of the crushed hearts of stars. These collisions also send gentle ripples spreading outward through the fabric of space itself. When two dense remnants merge, their joining shakes the very structure of space, sending soft waves rippling out across the cosmos. These ripples travel across the universe, growing ever fainter as they spread, until at last they reach us as the faintest of trembles. With great care and patience, we have learned to sense them, feeling the gentle shudder of space from distant collisions far across the dark. It is a wonder that we can feel the merging of the crushed hearts of stars in the soft trembling of space itself. It is a gentle marvel that these strange remnants, the crushed hearts of stars, continue to enrich the cosmos even in their stillness. In their collisions, they forge the rarest elements and scatter them gently into space. In their spinning, they sweep their beams across the galaxy, faithful and steady, even as the quiet endpoints of stellar life. They remain active participants in the great story of the cosmos, gently shaping it still. There is a deep beauty in that, in knowing that even the dense remnants of dead stars continue to give to the universe, scattering riches and sweeping their gentle beams across the dark. When we consider these remnants together, we behold the deepest extremes of what a star can become. From the gentle white dwarf, to the dense neutron star, to the silent black hole, the dying stars leave behind objects of ever greater extremity, crushed ever more deeply by gravity. They are the quiet, dense legacies of the stars, resting in the dark where suns once blazed, holding the deepest secrets of matter and gravity. It is humbling to consider them, these crushed and silent hearts of stars, the most extreme objects in all the cosmos, drifting quietly through the dark across the long ages. And yet, for all their extremity, these remnants rest in deep and gentle silence. The neutron stars turn quietly, the black holes drift in stillness, the white dwarfs cool softly across the ages. The most extreme objects in the universe are also among the calmest, resting silently in the dark, troubling nothing, hurrying toward nothing. There is a profound peace in them, in their quiet endurance, holding the crushed hearts of stars in perfect stillness. It is soothing to imagine them, these silent remnants, drifting gently through the dark, calm and patient beyond all measure, where great stars once blazed. These dense remnants are, in their way, a fitting end to the brilliant lives of the great stars. The massive stars blaze briefly and brightly, and in their deaths, they leave behind these strange, dense objects, the crushed and silent hearts of what they were. From the most brilliant of lives comes the quietest of endings, a soft and dense remnant resting in the dark. There is a gentle poetry in that, in the great stars passing from brilliant fire into silent stillness, leaving behind these quiet hearts, drifting peacefully through the cosmos long after their light has faded. And so we have wandered among the strange remnants of the great stars, the dense neutron stars, the spinning pulsars, the magnetic magnetars, and the silent black holes. We have seen them spin and sweep their beams and collide to forge the rarest elements. And there is still more to wonder at, the gentle cycle that binds the stars to us, still waiting softly ahead. But for now, let these quiet remnants turn gently in your mind, the crushed and silent hearts of stars, drifting peacefully in the dark, as you sink a little deeper into stillness and warmth and rest. Let us drift now toward one of the most beautiful truths in all of science, the gentle bond between the stars and ourselves. We have seen how stars forge the elements in their hearts and scatter them gently into space when they die. And those scattered elements do not simply drift away forever. They gather again into new clouds, new stars, and new worlds. And in time, they become part of everything around us, and even part of us. The stars, in their lives and deaths, have made the very stuff from which we are formed. We are, in the deepest sense, gently born of the stars. In the very beginning, the young universe held only the lightest of elements, the simplest kinds of matter. There was hydrogen and a little helium and almost nothing else, scattered thinly through the early cosmos. The richer elements, the carbon and oxygen and iron and all the rest, did not yet exist at all. They had to be made gently over the long ages that followed, and it was the stars that made them, forging the heavier elements in their hearts and scattering them through the cosmos. From a universe of only the simplest matter, the stars slowly built the rich variety we know today. Nearly every element heavier than the simplest few was forged within the stars. The carbon that fills the living world, the oxygen we breathe, the iron and the gold, and the countless other elements, all were gently made in the hearts of stars or in their brilliant deaths. The stars are the great forges of the cosmos, slowly creating the rich materials of the universe across the ages. Almost everything around us, the ground and the air and the living world, is built from elements that were once forged deep within a star. The richness of the cosmos is the gentle gift of the stars. And this means something wonderful and gentle, that we ourselves are made of the stuff of stars. The atoms that make up your body, nearly every one of them, were forged long ago in the heart of a star, or in the brilliant death of one. The carbon in your cells, the oxygen in your breath, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, all of it was made within the stars, ages ago. You are, quite literally, built from the scattered remains of stars that lived and died long before our sun was born. We are, each of us, gently made of stardust. Consider the iron that flows in your blood, carrying life through your body with every gentle beat of your heart. That iron was forged within a star, long ago, in the fiery depths of a great sun, or in the brilliant flash of its death. It drifted through space for ages, gathered into the cloud that became our sun and earth, and at last became part of you. The very iron that sustains your life is a gift from the stars, made in their hearts and scattered gently through the cosmos, before becoming, in time, a part of you. Consider, too, the calcium that gives strength to your bones, holding you gently upright. That calcium, like the iron in your blood, was forged within the stars, made in their burning hearts and scattered into space when they died. It drifted through the cosmos, gathered into our world, and slowly became part of living things, and at last part of you. The very framework of your body, the bones that support you, is built from elements crafted in the stars. You carry the gentle gifts of the stars within you, woven into your very being. The sun and the earth themselves were born from the gathered remains of earlier stars. When our sun formed, about 4.5 billion years ago, it gathered from a great cloud of gas and dust, a cloud that was rich with the scattered elements of stars that had lived and died before. Those earlier stars had forged the elements and scattered them into space, and from that enriched material, our own sun and its worlds were gently born. Our entire solar system is built from the recycled remains of earlier stars, gathered gently together to form our world and the gentle sun that lights it. This means our own world is, in a sense, made from the dust of stars that died long ago. The ground beneath your feet, the mountains and the oceans, the very air around you, all of it is built from elements forged in stars and scattered through space, before gathering into our world. The earth itself is a gentle gathering of stardust, formed from the remains of stars that blazed and died in the deep past. There is something profound and soothing in that, in knowing that our whole world is woven from the ancient gifts of the stars, gathered gently together across the ages. Each generation of stars gently enriches the galaxy for the stars that come after. When stars die, they scatter their forged elements into space, adding to the richness of the clouds from which new stars will form. Those new stars, in turn, forge more elements still and scatter them in their own deaths, enriching the galaxy a little more. Slowly, across the ages, the galaxy grows richer in the heavier elements, generation by generation of stars. It is a gentle inheritance, passed softly from old stars to new. The cosmos, slowly building its richness through the long cycle of stellar lives. Our own sun is one of these later generations of stars, born from a galaxy already enriched by those before. By the time our sun formed, many generations of stars had already lived and died, forging elements and scattering them through space. And so our sun was born from material rich with the gifts of earlier stars, rich enough to form rocky worlds and oceans, and in time, life. We are the children of a galaxy that had already been gently enriched, again and again, by the stars that came before. Our very existence rests upon those earlier generations of stars. There is then a great and gentle cycle that binds the stars together across the ages. Clouds of gas gather into stars. The stars live and shine. In time they die, scattering their elements into space. And from those scattered elements, new clouds gather, and new stars are born. Round and round the cycle turns. Across billions of years, the matter of the cosmos, forever flowing from old stars into new. It is a beautiful and gentle rhythm, this great cycle of stellar life and death and rebirth, turning softly across the ages, renewing the universe again and again. In this great cycle, the very same atoms have been part of many different things across the ages. An atom in your body might once have been part of a distant star, and before that, part of an ancient cloud, and before that, part of yet another star, in the deep past. The matter of the cosmos is endlessly recycled, flowing from one thing to another across the long ages, never truly lost. The atoms that make you now have likely been part of countless other things before, scattered through the cosmos, gathered and scattered again across the vast sweep of time. This gentle truth connects us deeply to the stars and to the whole of the cosmos. We are not separate from the universe, gazing at it from outside, but a part of it, made from its very substance. The same elements that fill the stars and the worlds also fill our own bodies, woven into our very being. We are, in the deepest sense, the cosmos itself, gathered for a time into living form. There is a profound comfort in that, in knowing that we belong to the universe so completely, made from the same stardust as the stars we gaze upon. When you look up at the stars then, you are gazing at your own distant kin. The stars forged the elements you are made of, and scattered them gently into the cosmos, before they gathered into you. In a deep and gentle sense, you and the stars are family, born of the same cosmic story, made of the same ancient stuff. To look up at the night sky is to look upon your own distant origins, the great forges from which your very atoms came. There is a soft and beautiful kinship in that, between yourself and the gentle stars shining softly in the dark. It is a soothing thought to carry into sleep, that you are made of the stars, and that the stars are, in a sense, a part of you. The atoms within you have traveled across the cosmos, through ancient stars and clouds, across billions of years, to gather for a time into you. And one day, far in the future, they will scatter again, to become part of other things, perhaps even new stars and worlds. You are a gentle, temporary gathering of stardust, a part of the great cycle of the cosmos, woven softly into the endless story of the stars. There is a deep peace in feeling so connected to the universe, so woven into its gentle fabric. We are not strangers in the cosmos, but a part of it, born of its stars, made of its substance, sharing in its great cycle. The same atoms that drift through distant stars and clouds also drift, for a time, through us. We belong to the universe completely, gently and forever. And there is a profound comfort in that belonging, in knowing that we are at home in the cosmos, made of its stardust, part of its endless gentle turning, beneath the soft light of the stars. When we consider this great cycle, we see that the stars give of themselves so that new things may be born. In their deaths, the stars scatter their riches into the cosmos, and from those riches, new stars, new worlds, and even new life arise. The stars are, in a sense, endlessly generous, giving their forged elements gently to the universe, again and again, and we are among the gentle results of that generosity, made from the gifts of stars that died long ago. There is a deep beauty in that, in the stars giving so freely, so that we, and all the living world, might come gently to be. So as you rest tonight, you may carry with you this gentle thought, that you are made of the stars, and held within their great and patient cycle. The light you see in the night sky comes from your distant kin, the great forges that made your very atoms, and the same cosmos that holds the stars holds you too, gently and completely, a part of its endless turning. There is nothing to do but rest, here on your small world of stardust, beneath the soft light of the stars from which you came, held gently within the great cycle of the cosmos. It is one of the most beautiful truths we know, this gentle bond between the stars and ourselves. We are made of stardust, born of the stars, woven into the great cycle of the cosmos. The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, the very atoms of our being, all are gifts of the stars, forged in their hearts and scattered gently across the ages. To know this is to feel, deeply and softly, our place in the universe, our kinship with the stars, our belonging to the great and gentle story of the cosmos. And so we have wandered through the gentle cycle that binds the stars to us, and felt our deep kinship with the cosmos. We have seen how the stars forged the very atoms of our being, and scattered them gently across the ages before they gathered into us. And there is still a little more to wonder at, the first stars of all, and the far future of the stars, still waiting softly ahead. But for now, let this gentle bond with the stars rest quietly in your mind, soft and warm and comforting, as you sink a little deeper into stillness and warmth and rest. Let us drift now toward a gentler and stranger kind of stellar ending, one that unfolds among stars in pairs. We have seen that a white dwarf is the quiet ember of a sun-like star, slowly cooling in the dark. But not all white dwarfs are alone. Some rest beside a companion star, the two circling one another through the ages. And when a white dwarf has such a companion close by, something remarkable can happen. A gentle drama played out between the two stars. We will drift toward that quiet drama now, and watch how a white dwarf and its companion can light the dark together. When a white dwarf circles closely with a companion star, it may gently draw material away from it. The white dwarf's gravity reaches out to its neighbor, pulling a soft stream of gas away from the larger star, drawing it slowly toward itself. That gathered gas swirls down onto the white dwarf, slowly building up upon its surface, layer by layer, across the ages. It is a gentle theft, this drawing of gas from one star to another, the white dwarf quietly gathering material from its companion, slowly accumulating it upon its small, dense surface. As the white dwarf gathers more and more gas upon its surface, the pressure and heat slowly build. Layer upon layer of borrowed material piles up, growing hotter and denser as it accumulates. In time, the conditions on the white dwarf's surface grow extreme enough that the gathered gas suddenly ignites in a brilliant flash of fire. The white dwarf brightens dramatically, flaring up in the dark, as the gathered gas burns away in a sudden gentle blaze. It is a soft and beautiful event, this flaring of a white dwarf, brightening briefly as it burns the gas it gathered from its companion. This brilliant flaring of a white dwarf is called a nova, a gentle and beautiful brightening in the dark. When the gathered gas ignites, the white dwarf shines far more brightly than before, sometimes brightly enough to appear as a new star in our sky, where none was seen before. But the white dwarf itself is not destroyed. It simply flares, burns away the gathered gas, and then settles back to its quiet state, glowing softly once more. It is a gentle, recurring event, this flaring of the white dwarf, a soft brightening that may happen again and again as it gathers and burns gas from its companion across the ages. Sometimes, though, a white dwarf gathers so much material that it meets a far more dramatic end. If a white dwarf draws too much gas from its companion, building up more weight than it can bear, it may at last reach a gentle limit beyond which it cannot hold itself together. At that point, the entire white dwarf ignites, all at once, in a brilliant explosion that tears it completely apart. Unlike the gentle nova, this leaves nothing behind. It is a different and grander ending, the complete and brilliant destruction of a white dwarf, flaring brightly in the dark before fading away entirely. These brilliant white dwarf explosions are remarkably similar to one another, each shining with nearly the same brightness. Because they happen when a white dwarf reaches the same gentle limit of weight, they tend to flare with a very consistent brilliance, glowing with much the same light each time. This makes them wonderfully useful to us, for if we know how brightly such an explosion truly shines, we can judge how far away it must be. They have become gentle measuring marks, scattered across the cosmos, helping us gauge the vast distances to faraway galaxies by the steady brightness of their light. Through these steady explosions, we have learnt remarkable things about the universe itself. By using them to measure the distances to faraway galaxies, we have come to understand how the cosmos is gently expanding, and even how that expansion is slowly changing over time. These brilliant white dwarf deaths, scattered across the universe, have helped us map its vast scale and trace its gentle growth. It is a wonderful thought that the deaths of these small, dense stars have helped us understand the expansion of the entire cosmos, lighting our way across the vast dark with their steady, faithful glow. Two white dwarfs may also find one another and merge in a brilliant ending. Where two white dwarfs circle closely together, they may slowly spiral inward across the ages, drawing ever nearer until at last they meet and join. Their merging can release a brilliant burst of light, much like the explosion of a single overburdened white dwarf. It is another gentle path to a brilliant ending, two quiet embers of stars coming together at last, flaring brightly in the dark as they join, the final union of two stars that lived and died long ago. It is a gentle wonder how much we have learned about the stars, simply by studying the light they send across the dark. We cannot travel to the stars, nor gather pieces of them, nor watch them up close. And yet, from their faint light alone, we have learned a remarkable amount about their nature, their lives, and their deaths. The light of a star carries within it the gentle story of that star, waiting to be read by patient eyes. It is a beautiful art, this reading of the stars in their light, coming to know them intimately from across the vast gulfs of space. The color of a star's light gently reveals how hot it burns, and so something of its nature. A star glowing soft red is cooler, while one shining brilliant blue-white is far hotter. From a star's color alone, we can sense its warmth and begin to understand where it rests in its long life. And hidden within that light are finer details still. Gentle marks that tell us what the star is made of, how it moves, and how old it might be. From the soft light of a star, patiently studied, we can read the quiet story of its life, written gently in its glow. The light we gather from the stars is often very old, having traveled across space for a long, long time. A star may lie so far away that its light takes years, or centuries, or even ages to reach us, crossing the vast dark on its long journey. And so, when we look at a distant star, we see it not as it is now, but as it was when that light set out, long ago. To gaze at the stars is to look gently into the past, to see their ancient light only now arriving after its long and patient journey through the cosmos. To gather this faint and ancient starlight, we have built great telescopes, gentle eyes turned toward the dark. These instruments collect the soft light of distant stars, gathering even the faintest glow from across the vast reaches of space. With them, we can see stars far too dim for the unaided eye, and study their light in gentle detail. They are patient eyes, these telescopes, gazing quietly outward, gathering the ancient light of the stars and revealing the cosmos to us in ever greater beauty and depth across the vast dark. There is a gentle puzzle in studying the lives of stars, for they live far too long for us to watch even one from birth to death. A star may live for millions or billions of years, far longer than we could ever observe a single one. And yet we have come to understand the whole long life of a star, from its birth to its ending. We do this by watching many stars at once, each at a different stage of its life, and piecing their gentle story together. It is a lovely way of learning the life of a star from a great gathering of them. It is rather like understanding the course of a human life by looking upon a great crowd of people, of every age, all at once, though we could not watch a single person grow from a child to old age in a moment. We could understand the whole of a human life by seeing the young and the old together, each at their own stage. In just the same gentle way, we understand the lives of stars by seeing them all at once, the newborn and the ancient, the living and the dying, scattered across the sky. From that great gathering, we read the whole gentle story of a star's life. And so, by gazing upon the countless stars, we have come to understand the entire cycle of their lives. We have seen stars being born in glowing clouds, and shining steadily in their long middle age, and swelling into red giants, and fading into embers, and dying in brilliant light. By gathering all these gentle glimpses together, we have traced the whole long journey of a star, from its birth to its ending. It is a remarkable thing, this understanding of the lives of stars, pieced gently together from the light of countless suns scattered across the dark. There is something deeply soothing in how patiently we have come to know the stars. We could not rush them, nor hurry their long lives, nor watch a single one through all its ages. We could only gather their light gently, patiently, across the years, and slowly piece together their story. And from that quiet, patient labor, we have come to understand the stars deeply, these great glowing suns scattered across the cosmos. There is a gentle beauty in that patient knowing, in coming to understand the stars slowly and softly, through the quiet gathering of their ancient light. When we study the stars, we are, in a sense, reading the great story of the cosmos itself. For the lives and deaths of the stars are woven deeply into the story of the universe, shaping the galaxies, forging the elements, and giving rise to worlds and life. To understand the stars is to understand much of the cosmos, its past, its present, and its gentle future. There is a deep wonder in that, in knowing that by studying the soft light of the stars, we come to understand the great and gentle story of the universe itself, unfolding across the ages. For all that we have learned, the stars still hold their quiet mysteries, and that is a comforting thought rather than a troubling one. There is always more to discover, more to understand about the lives and deaths of the stars, more gentle wonders waiting in their light. Each answer we find seems to open softly onto new questions. There is no sadness in that, only the quiet promise of more to learn, more beauty to uncover in the stars. The cosmos keeps its gentle secrets, patient and unhurried, inviting us always to keep gazing softly outward and to keep wondering. And so we have wandered through the gentle deaths of white dwarfs and the brilliant explosions that light our way across the cosmos, and the patient ways we have come to know the stars. There remains now only a little further to drift, the first stars of all, and the far future of the stars, still waiting softly ahead. But for now, let the stars turn quietly in your mind, their ancient light drifting gently across the dark, as you sink a little deeper into stillness and warmth and rest. Let us drift now toward the very beginning of the stars, to the first suns ever to shine in all the cosmos. There was a time, long ago, in the youth of the universe, when there were no stars at all. The cosmos was dark then, filled only with gentle clouds of the simplest gas, drifting in a deep and quiet darkness. The first stars had not yet been born, and no light shone among the gathering gas. We will drift gently back to that ancient time now, to the dawn of the stars, and watch, in our minds, the first lights kindle softly in the dark. In those earliest ages, before the first stars, the universe rested in a gentle and complete darkness. The cosmos was young, and cool, and dark, filled with drifting clouds of gas, but no shining suns to light them. It was a quiet time, a long dark age before the stars, when the universe waited softly in the gentle gloom. There was no starlight anywhere, only the deep and patient dark, and the slowly gathering clouds. It is a peaceful thing to imagine, this quiet darkness before the dawn of the stars, the cosmos resting gently, waiting for its first light. The gas that filled the early universe was of the very simplest kind, only the lightest of elements. There was hydrogen and a little helium, and almost nothing else, scattered thinly through the young cosmos. The richer elements had not yet been made, for there were no stars to forge them. And so the first stars would have to form from this simplest of material, the gentle, primordial gas of the early universe. It is a soothing thought that the first stars were born from the purest and simplest matter, the gentle gas left over from the very birth of the cosmos. In time, this simple gas began to gather, drawn together gently by gravity, just as later stars would form. Here and there in the dark, regions of the primordial gas slowly fell inward upon themselves, gathering into dense clumps across the ages. Within these gathering clouds, the first stars slowly began to take shape, deep in the ancient dark. It was the same gentle process that forms stars today, unfolding for the very first time in the youth of the universe. From the simplest gas, gathered softly by gravity, the first stars were gently born. The first stars, it seems, were quite different from the gentle stars of today, far larger and more brilliant. Born from the simplest gas, lacking the heavier elements that shape later stars, the first stars grew to enormous sizes, far more massive than most stars now. They were giants, vast and brilliant, blazing with tremendous light in the early dark. Where stars today come in a great range of sizes, these first stars were often immense, towering suns of the early cosmos. It is a wondrous thought, these first great stars, vast and brilliant, blazing softly in the ancient dark. The reason the first stars grew so large lies gently in the simplicity of their gas. Without the heavier elements that help gas cool and gather into smaller stars, the primordial gas could not break apart so easily, and so it tended to form a few great stars rather than many small ones. And so the first stars were often giants, towering and brilliant, born of the gentle simplicity of the early universe. It is a soothing thought that the very simplicity of the early cosmos gave rise to such great and brilliant first stars, blazing softly in the ancient dark. When the first stars at last kindled into light, they ended the long darkness of the early universe. After the long, quiet dark age, the first suns began to shine, casting their brilliant light out into the gathering cosmos. It was the dawn of starlight, the first light to break the ancient darkness, gently illuminating the young universe. After so long a darkness, the cosmos was lit at last by the glow of its first stars. It is a beautiful thought, this first dawn of the stars, the gentle kindling of the first lights, ending the long dark age of the universe. These first great stars, for all their brilliance, lived only brief and fleeting lives. Because they were so massive, they burned through their fuel furiously, shining with tremendous brilliance for only a few million years before reaching their ends. They blazed gloriously and briefly in the early dark, then died young, in brilliant deaths. They were fleeting suns, these first stars, shining intensely for a short time before passing from the cosmos. It is a gentle thought, these brilliant first stars, blazing briefly and brightly in the youth of the universe, then fading gently away, their light given freely to the dark. In their brief lives and brilliant deaths, the first stars forged the very first heavier elements. Born of only the simplest gas, these first stars created within their hearts the first carbon, the first oxygen, the first richer kinds of matter the universe had ever held. And in their deaths, they scattered these first heavy elements gently into the cosmos, enriching the gas around them. They were the first forgers of the universe, gently beginning the great work of creating the elements. It is a wondrous thought, these first stars crafting the first richer matter, the gentle beginning of all the elements to come. By scattering these first elements, the first stars gently seeded the cosmos for everything that would follow. The heavier elements they forged and scattered enriched the gas of the early universe, making possible the next generations of stars, and in time, worlds and life. Everything that came after, all the richness of the cosmos, traces back gently to these first stars and their first gifts. They were the gentle beginning of the great cycle of stellar life, sowing the first seeds of all that would come. We owe our very existence, in part, to these first stars of the early universe. The first stars also gathered together into the first small galaxies, the gentle beginnings of the great structures of the cosmos. As the first stars formed, they drew together into small gatherings, the earliest galaxies, glowing softly in the young universe. These first galaxies were small and gentle, the seeds of the great galaxies that would grow over the ages. From these humble beginnings, the grand galaxies of today slowly gathered and grew. It is a soothing thought, these first small galaxies, gentle gatherings of the first stars, glowing softly in the early dark, the quiet beginnings of all the galaxies to come. When we gaze far across the cosmos, we can look back gently toward these early ages, toward the first stars and galaxies. For the light from the early universe has traveled for almost the whole age of the cosmos to reach us. And so to look far away is to look far back in time. With our greatest telescopes, we can peer toward the young universe, glimpsing some of the earliest galaxies, glowing softly in the ancient dark. It is a wondrous thought that we can look gently back toward the dawn of the stars, gathering the ancient light of the early cosmos. Our newest and most powerful telescopes are designed to peer ever further back toward the very first stars and galaxies. By gathering the faintest and most ancient light, these great instruments can glimpse the young universe as it was long ago when the first stars were beginning to shine. With them, we hope to see the earliest galaxies, and perhaps one day even the first stars themselves, glowing softly in the ancient dark. It is a gentle and hopeful quest, this looking back toward the dawn of the stars, gathering the most ancient light to glimpse the first lights of the cosmos. There is a deep and gentle wonder in knowing that everything traces back to those first stars. The galaxies, the later stars, the worlds, the elements, and even ourselves, all trace gently back to the first suns that shone in the early dark. They were the beginning of it all, the first lights, the first forges, the first seeds of the great cycle of the cosmos. We are, in the deepest sense, the distant descendants of those first stars, born of the cycle they began long ago. It is a soothing thought, this gentle connection to the very first stars of the universe. We owe a quiet gratitude to those first stars for the gentle beginning they gave to everything. They lit the early dark, forged the first elements, and sowed the first seeds of all that would come. Without them, there would be no later stars, no worlds, no life, no us. They gave freely of themselves in their brilliant deaths, beginning the great cycle that would, in time, give rise to everything around us. It is a gentle thing to feel a soft gratitude toward these first stars, the ancient lights that gently began the great story of the cosmos. When we think of the first stars, we are reminded that even the grandest things had gentle beginnings. The vast and glorious cosmos we know today, with its countless stars and galaxies and worlds, began with a few great stars kindling softly in the dark. From that gentle beginning, across billions of years, grew everything we see. It is a soothing thought that the great cosmos arose so gently from those first quiet lights in the early dark. Even the grandest of things, it seems, begin softly and grow gently over the long ages. The first stars have long since faded, their brilliant lights given gently to the dark ages ago. They blazed briefly and brightly in the youth of the universe, then died young, scattering their gifts into the cosmos. Their light is long gone now, faded into the deep past, and yet their gentle legacy remains, woven into everything that came after, into the stars and worlds and life of today. It is a beautiful thought that though the first stars are long gone, their gifts endure softly all around us, in the very fabric of the cosmos. So as you rest tonight, you may carry with you this gentle thought of the first stars kindling softly in the ancient dark, beginning the great story of the cosmos. From those first quiet lights, across billions of years, grew everything around you, and even you yourself. The universe began its long journey toward you with those first gentle suns, blazing softly in the early dark. There is a deep comfort in that, in feeling connected to the very dawn of the stars, the ancient beginning of the great and gentle story that holds you now. And so we have drifted back to the very dawn of the stars, to the first lights that kindled softly in the ancient dark. We have seen them blaze and die, and forge the first elements, and seed the cosmos for all that would follow. There remains now only a little further to drift, the far future of the stars, and a gentle gathering of all we have seen, before the night carries us fully into sleep. But for now, let the first stars turn quietly in your mind, the ancient lights of the early cosmos, as you sink a little deeper into stillness and warmth and rest. Let us drift now, gently, toward the far future of the stars, across spans of time almost beyond imagining. We have seen how stars are born, and how they live and die, and how new stars rise from the old. But this great cycle, for all its endurance, will not turn forever. Far ahead, in the deep future of the cosmos, the stars will slowly grow fewer, and the universe will gently dim. We will drift softly toward that distant time now, not with sorrow, but with gentle wonder, and watch, in our minds, the long, slow twilight of the stars. Already, the making of new stars has slowed from what it once was, long ago. There was a time, in the youth of the universe, when stars were being born far more swiftly than they are today, in a great and brilliant flowering of new suns. That peak of star birth has long since passed, and ever since, the rate of new stars forming has gently declined. The universe is quieter now, in its star-making, than it was in its vigorous youth. It is a soft and gentle thought that the great age of starbirth has slowly passed its peak, easing softly across the ages. The reason the stars grow fewer is that the gas from which they form is slowly being used up. Each new star gathers some of the cosmos's gas into itself, and though dying stars return some of it, a little is locked away forever in remnants each time. And so, across the vast ages, the raw material for new stars gently dwindles, bit by bit. Slowly, patiently, the cosmos is using up the gas from which stars are born. It is a gentle thought, this slow consuming of the cosmic gas, the universe quietly spending its store of star stuff across the long ages. Far into the future, the gas will grow so scarce that fewer and fewer new stars will form. As the ages pass, the clouds from which stars are born will slowly empty, and the birth of new suns will gently slow, until at last only a few new stars form here and there. The great nurseries will grow quiet, their gas spent, their star-making gently fading. It is a soft and distant thought of the cosmos slowly running low on the gas for new stars, the birth of suns gently easing toward its end, across unimaginable spans of time. In time, the very last stars will form, the final suns to be born in all the cosmos. After untold ages, when the gas has grown too scarce to gather into new stars, the last new suns will kindle softly in the dark. The final stars the universe will ever make. They will be the youngest stars of all, born at the very close of the great age of star birth. It is a gentle and poignant thought. These last stars, the final suns to ever shine into being, kindling softly in the deep future, the quiet end of all the cosmos's star-making. The stars that will linger longest of all are the small, gentle red ones, the most patient suns. Because they burn their fuel so slowly, these little red stars live for trillions of years, far longer than any other kind of star. And so, long after the great bright stars have faded, these gentle red stars will still be glowing softly in the dark, the last lights of the cosmos. They will be the final stars to shine, lingering patiently across vast ages after all the others have gone. It is a soothing thought, these gentle red stars, glowing softly and patiently to the very end. Slowly, across these vast ages, the cosmos will gently grow dimmer. As the bright stars fade and fewer new ones form, the light of the universe will softly diminish, the great glow of the galaxies gently easing. The cosmos, once brilliant with countless stars, will slowly quiet into a gentler, dimmer light, lit only by the lingering red stars and the fading embers. It is a soft and peaceful thought, this gentle dimming of the cosmos, the universe easing slowly from its brilliant youth toward a quieter, gentler age, across spans of time beyond all imagining. After the last stars have faded, the cosmos will be left to the quiet remnants of stars. The white dwarfs will cool softly in the dark. The neutron stars will turn quietly, and the black holes will drift in silence, all that remains of the great ages of starlight. These gentle remnants will endure long into the deep future, the quiet legacies of the stars that once blazed. It is a soft thought of a cosmos resting in the care of these silent remnants, the gentle embers and dense hearts of stars, drifting quietly through the dark long after the starlight has faded. This far distant time, when the stars have faded, is unimaginably far ahead, beyond any span we can truly grasp. It lies not millions, nor billions, but countless trillions of years in the future, so far ahead that the entire age of the universe so far is but the briefest beginning. There is no need to feel any sorrow for it, so gentle and so distant is it. It is a soft and peaceful thought, this far future of the stars, resting so unimaginably far ahead that it carries no weight at all, only a quiet sense of the vastness of time. And there is a deep and gentle peace in that distant future, a quiet stillness after the long ages of starlight. When the stars have faded and the cosmos has grown dim, the universe will rest in a soft and lasting calm, a deep quiet after its brilliant youth. It will not be a sad ending, but a gentle one, the universe settling slowly into peaceful stillness, its great work of making stars at last complete. It is a soothing thought, this far future calm, the cosmos resting gently in the quiet after the long and beautiful age of the stars. It helps to remember that we live now in the great age of the stars, when the cosmos is brilliant with light. All around us, countless stars are shining, and new stars are being born, and the universe blazes with the light of suns beyond counting. We are here in the bright and vigorous time of the cosmos, when starlight fills the dark. It is a gentle privilege to live in this great age of the stars, surrounded by their light, beneath a sky filled with shining suns. The far future dark is unimaginably distant, and for now, the cosmos is gloriously alight. When we gaze up at the night sky, then, we are beholding the cosmos in its brilliant prime. The stars that fill our sky are part of this great age of starlight, shining softly in the vigorous youth of the universe. We are fortunate to look up and see such a sky, alive with countless suns, in this bright chapter of the cosmos. It is a soothing thought that the night sky we know is the sky of the great age of stars, glowing with a brilliance that will, in the deepest future, slowly fade, but that shines gloriously now, for us to wonder at. There is a gentle beauty in the whole long story of the stars, from their first dawn to their distant twilight. The stars kindled softly in the early dark, blazed brilliantly across the ages, and will, in the deep future, slowly fade into a quiet calm. It is a vast and gentle arc, this story of the stars, unfolding across spans of time almost beyond meaning. And we are here in the middle of it, in the bright age of starlight, gazing up at the shining suns. There is a deep wonder in that, in beholding the great story of the stars, and our gentle place within it. The far future of the stars reminds us, gently, of the vastness of time itself. The ages across which the stars will live and fade are so immense that they stretch the mind beyond its limits, spans of trillions upon trillions of years. Against such vastness, our own moment is but the briefest flicker, and yet it is a precious one, here in the bright age of the stars. It is a soothing thought, to rest within the great vastness of cosmic time, a gentle flicker of awareness beneath the shining stars, in this brilliant chapter of the universe. And there is comfort in knowing that the stars will shine for so very long, far beyond any time we need ever imagine. The gentle red stars will glow for trillions of years, and the cosmos will remain alight for spans of time almost without end. The far future dark is so unimaginably distant that, for all the ages we could ever conceive, the stars will keep shining softly in the sky. It is a deeply soothing thought, this near-endless endurance of the stars, glowing patiently across vast ages, lighting the cosmos far beyond the reach of any worry or any time we know. So as you rest tonight, you may hold this gentle thought, that the stars are shining now, and will shine for ages almost beyond counting. We live in the bright age of the cosmos, beneath a sky alight with countless suns, and that light will endure far longer than we could ever imagine. The far future calm is unimaginably distant, and for now, there is only the gentle glow of the stars, filling the dark, shining softly down upon your rest. There is nothing to do but lie beneath that starlight and drift gently towards sleep. And so we have drifted gently to the far future of the stars, and seen their long, slow twilight, unimaginably distant and deeply peaceful. We have seen the last stars form, and the gentle red stars linger, and the cosmos ease softly into a quiet calm. And now only a little of our journey remains, a gentle gathering of all we have seen, before the night carries us fully into sleep. But for now, let the stars turn quietly in your mind, shining softly across the ages, as you sink a little deeper into stillness and warmth and rest. Let us gather now, gently, the whole great story of the stars, as our journey draws toward its close. We have wandered through the entire life of a star tonight, from its first beginnings to its distant ending and beyond. It is a vast and beautiful story, unfolding across spans of time almost beyond imagining, and yet it is also a gentle one, full of soft beginnings and peaceful endings. Let us hold it all together now, one last time, this great cycle of the stars, before we let the night carry us softly into sleep. We began with the birth of a star, gathered gently from a great cloud of gas and dust. We watched the cloud collapse, and the glowing core take shape, and the inner fire kindle softly into light. From the cold and quiet dark, a new sun was gently born, shining out into the cosmos for the first time. It was a soft and patient beginning, this birth of a star, unfolding slowly across the ages. And all across the galaxy, even now, new stars are being born in just this way, kindling softly in their glowing clouds. We followed the long, steady lives of the stars, shining calmly across the ages. We saw our own gentle sun, and the small red stars that live for trillions of years, and the brilliant giants that blaze briefly and brightly. We saw stars in pairs, dancing slowly around one another, and stars that pulse softly in the dark, and great gatherings of stars in their clusters. The stars live rich and varied lives, each according to its nature, shining patiently across the long ages, holding themselves in gentle balance, glowing softly in the dark. We witnessed the gentle deaths of the stars like our sun, fading softly into quiet embers. We watched such a star swell into a red giant, and gently shed its outer layers into a glowing shell, and settle at last into a quiet white dwarf, cooling softly across the ages. It was a peaceful ending, this gentle death of a sun-like star, soft and beautiful, ending not in violence but in stillness. And we saw that this is the very fate that awaits our own sun, in the distant future, a gentle fading into a quiet ember. We beheld the brilliant deaths of the great stars, blazing gloriously in their endings. We watched a massive star build the elements in its heart, and collapse, and explode in a dazzling supernova, outshining a whole galaxy for a time. We saw the strange remnants left behind, the dense neutron stars, the spinning pulsars, the silent black holes, and we saw how these brilliant deaths forge the elements and scatter them gently into the cosmos, sowing the seeds of new stars and new worlds. Even in death, the great stars give brilliantly to the universe. We discovered the gentle cycle that binds the stars together and binds them to us. We saw how dying stars scatter their forged elements into space, and how those elements gather again into new stars and new worlds. We learned that we ourselves are made of stardust, that the very atoms of our being were forged in the stars, ages ago. The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, all are gifts of the stars. We are, in the deepest sense, born of the stars, woven gently into the great cycle of the cosmos. We drifted back to the very first stars, kindling softly in the ancient dark. We saw them blaze and die, and forge the first elements, and seed the cosmos for all that would follow. And we drifted forward too, to the far future of the stars, to their long, slow twilight, unimaginably distant and deeply peaceful. We saw the whole great arc of the stars, from their first dawn to their distant fading, a vast and gentle story unfolding across the ages, with us here in its bright and brilliant middle. And through all of it, there has been only wonder and never any fear. The stars are gentle things, for all their fire and power, living their long lives calmly, dying their soft and brilliant deaths, giving freely of themselves to the cosmos. They shine patiently across the ages, asking nothing, troubling nothing, simply glowing softly in the dark. There is a deep peace in them, in their gentle birth and life and death, in the great cycle that turns so softly across the ages. They are calm and patient beyond all measure, glowing quietly in the night. It is a gentle privilege to understand the stars as we now do, to know their whole long story. For so much of history, the stars were beautiful mysteries, distant lights with secrets we could only wonder at. And now we know how they are born, and how they live, and how they die, and how they made the very stuff of which we are formed. It is a quiet wonder, this understanding, won through patient watching across the years. And yet the stars remain beautiful still, no less wondrous for being understood, glowing softly in the dark. When you look up at the night sky now, you may see it a little differently, knowing all that we have wandered through tonight. Each star is a sun, born from a cloud, shining through its long life, destined one day to fade, or to blaze in a brilliant ending. Each one forged the elements, or will, and scattered them, or will, gently into the cosmos. And each one is your distant kin, made of the same stuff as you, part of the same great story. To gaze at the stars is to behold the great and gentle cycle of which you are a part. There is a deep comfort in feeling so connected to the stars, so woven into the cosmos. We are not strangers gazing at the universe from outside, but a part of it, made of its stardust, born of its stars, held within its great cycle. The same elements that fill the stars also fill us, woven gently into our very being. We belong to the cosmos completely, and the cosmos holds us gently, beneath the soft light of the stars. There is a profound peace in that belonging, a gentle warmth to carry with you into sleep. So as you rest tonight, you may hold the whole gentle story of the stars within you. You may remember that you are made of stardust, Born of the stars, part of their great and patient cycle, you may feel your gentle kinship with the countless suns that shine softly in the dark, your distant kin across the cosmos, and you may rest, deeply and softly, knowing that you belong to the universe completely, held gently beneath the light of the stars, here on your small and gentle world, turning quietly through the night. The stars have shone for billions of years, and they will shine for ages almost beyond counting, long after this quiet night has passed. They will keep glowing softly in the dark, patient and gentle, lighting the cosmos far beyond the reach of any worry or any time we know. And beneath that same gentle starlight, on this small and peaceful world, you are held softly too, safe and warm, as the night draws gently in around you. There is nothing more to do, and nowhere more to be, than to rest beneath the stars. And so we drift, at last, back from the great story of the stars, in across the ages and the vast reaches of space, past the brilliant giants and the gentle red stars, past the glowing nurseries and the quiet embers, and home again to our own small world, turning softly beneath a sky full of shining suns. It is a cosmos alight with countless stars, born and living and dying in their great and gentle cycle, and we are part of it, made of its starlight, held within its endless turning. The stars shine softly on, patient and calm, as they always have. But for now, you don't need to travel any farther. You have drifted far enough for one night. Let the stars fade gently in your mind. Let their glowing nurseries and brilliant deaths and quiet embers dissolve softly into stillness. Let your breathing slow, and let the weight of the day settle gently away from you, like dust drifting slowly down into quiet. Everything out there will keep shining, softly and patiently, glowing gently across the ages, while you rest. There is nothing more to do, and nowhere more to be. There is only the soft and gentle quiet, gathering warmly around you now. Let your thoughts grow soft and slow, like a star glowing gently in the dark. Let the warmth of the stars settle over you, calm and gentle and endless. The stars have shone for billions of years, and they will keep shining softly, far across the dark, while you drift down into peaceful sleep. You are safe, and you are held, made of the very starlight that fills the sky, here on your own gentle world, beneath the soft glow of the countless stars from which you came. If you are still awake, and you would like to keep drifting a little longer among the stars, another quiet journey is waiting for you on the screen. And if these calm nights bring you a little peace, you are always welcome to return and to wander gently through the cosmos again, one drifting mind at a time. Sleep well, and good night.